Welcome to Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update. My name is Sue Roscoff, and I am an ambassador here with Project Die Hard. And we are here, you know it. We're here every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central because there's a lot going on all the time here with Project Die Hard. And you want to be up to date and know what's going on, so that's why you're here. Not just that, we've got an amazing guest joining us tonight. I can hardly wait to introduce her to everybody, but you're going to have to just hang on for a moment because you know how this works. We're going to be bringing in our founder and president, Brian Gibson, first up here to give us all the latest and greatest news of what's going on in the world of Project Die Hard. Brian, how are you?
Oh, sister. Thank you for covering last week. Things got moving, and they're going to learn why here in a minute, but big things have moved in this mission this past week. I cannot give God enough praise on that.
Excellent.
I mean, it's just so excellent. With that, yeah, I can't wait for our guest either. Let me do this, push this button, do this button.
Turning into a button pushing freak. I love it.
There you go. All right. Here's one of 3 slides here, folks. We're going to start on my left. Your right. I don't know who's seeing what, but remember, all praise and glory goes to God for our blessings. We have brought on Wellbeing's Medical Center as a resource partner. We have brought on the Veterans Advocate Center as a resource partner. The team is outstanding. Crossroads is driving from Benton, Kentucky, November 1st, to take a tour of Forward Operating Base Rush, seeing what they're going to help build. Wow, right? We have 3 more donation cans that need to be placed for the Die Hard 1 build. We have a t-shirt supplier we still need. And we're getting close to kick off the veteran build team. I have to do a big shout out to Black Diamond Harley Davidson there in Marion for their help in this build. And of course, On the Mark TV, where November 1st, I go up to 750 million. This is so Susan doesn't slap me. The fellowship breakfast is not this week, but next week, the first Wednesday of the month. And remember, the Die Hard Drive, the 3rd Saturday at every facility nationwide. Our next one is November 15th. Put it up. On the Mark TV is going to patron the Die Hard channel. So we need content. The first content we are seeking are ministry partners. The first day we're going to form up here is PDH Salvation Sunday. So it's already put out to our current members. We need more. They are working on their 45-minute sermons on salvation that will reach 750 million worldwide. So if you know of any ministry out there that wants to help bring hope to heroes and save veterans' lives, community@projectdiehard.org. All right. And now for me, there's my ugly mug. With this channel, I'm now really going to go into my deep dives. So, if you would like to sit on a panel on finding your mission after service, lack of resources at the VA, and what a nonprofit should be, reach out to my voice at projectdiehard.org. Remember, no politics and no self-promoting is allowed within Project Diehard. But look, guys, I'll work with anybody as long as you make the cut. Here it is. Forward operating base rush. November 1st, Crossroads is coming up. When you give to Project Diehard, this is where it's going. That and our fellowship breakfast. Told you, 3 slides.
A lot packed into those 3 slides. There's a lot coming up. There's a lot going on. All the new partners getting in place. I love it.
Teamwork, right?
Makes the dream work.
What have I always said? If we all work together, imagine what we could do.
Incredible.
Well, speaking of incredible, you've been communicating with my sister here. She's a veteran, and she's doing something special, isn't she?
She really is. Dawn Roberts is joining us today, and she sent me a little bit of her bio. I'm going to bring her on in and share what she had shared with us. Dawn, so glad that you are here. She is a reformed IT professional who went back to school during COVID and earned a master's in social work, focusing on rural health and opioid use disorder. She also enjoyed academia so much that she continued on to pursue her PhD in population health at SIU Carbondale, where she's now researching moral injury and resilience among our female veteran population. So she is here, and we've been in communication a bit here on and off, trying to figure out a good time that we could get together. And I am so grateful that you're here. I'm excited to hear more about what you are all doing with your work. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. I mean, the work you all are doing is amazing, and I'm excited that the first location is going to be in McCanda, which is right in my right next door to me, basically.
Meant to be. I love this because there is a relationship between Project Diehard and SIU Carbondale now. So the fact that you are working on your degree there, and that this is all coming together like this, I'm sensing all sorts of good things. So Dawn, tell us a little bit more about what exactly it is that you are doing with that PhD work.
So when I worked with when I lived in Arizona for a number of years, many years, and I lived in Prescott, which has a huge VA, and I was working in IT there. And one of the things I saw was that there weren't training skills for veterans and learning how to just do basic computer training and skills like that. So when I was there, through my IT work, I was able to create a very basic computer training course out there. And then, that was years ago. That was in like 2013. And then I left, I had life, I moved on. And then I came back home to Carbondale. And so when I was looking at the PhD program, I was thinking about going into, doing more with opioid use disorder. The professor in the population health, public health department, Dr. Justin McDaniel, who at the time was the chair, works with veteran populations. And so I thought, oh, well, I could just, continue that interest and keep doing work with veteran populations in opioid use disorder. And as I started taking classes and learning more, I heard this idea called moral injury. And as soon as I read the definition and looked into it more, I realized that was what I wanted to do. I had been in my social work program, I had on my own, because I can't get away from IT, even though I'm trying to. I discovered, there's a lot of learning how to do interviewing skills with for therapy, and so I created an AI avatar to help students learn interviewing skills. So the avatar would be the client. So the character I created was a male veteran with PTSD. And this is all before AI became very, popular. And so at the time, before it was even out there, I was trying to create like branching narratives and gamify it so that it would work, but it wasn't working real well. And then as soon as the AI started becoming more consumer oriented, I was like, oh, I can plug this in, this works. So I created this avatar. I did some pre and post tests with social work students and a social work professor, and was really enjoying that. But then the technology took off, and I was like, I'd have to be in a whole different program to pursue this. So that's when I decided to focus on moral injury and veterans and get away from the training part. And so I took it to some friends of mine who are all veterans, and I just did sort of this basic, curiosity survey of my own, nothing formal, nothing through school. And about 15 friends responded. And what I noticed was that my male veteran friends were all, their memory of their experience mostly it was intense. It was amazing. I'm glad I did it, even with the difficulties. I gained some incredible experiences and people that I will never lose touch with. They were brothers and sisters. My female friends, however, their responses were, it was incredible, but I had this problem. I got harassed. I got, all of the things. And that's when it really hit me. I was like, okay, female veterans really do often have a different experience than male veterans. And while moral injury and PTSD are universal, there's still some things that, ways that we process and do things differently. And but one of the biggest things was that female veterans, female anything, but female veterans is incredibly under researched specifically. And so, there's a lot there's some on moral injury, but most of it is all veterans or male veterans, more focused. And so that's why I decided to focus it on female veterans who deal with moral injury. And for those of you who don't know much about moral injury, it's related to PTSD, but it really branches off. It's got similarities, but it's very different. The sort of textbook definition would be more something like it refers to the psychological, emotional, and spiritual distress that occurs when a person's deeply held moral beliefs or values are divided, either by their own actions, the actions of others, or by witnessing events that transgress what they believe to be right and correct and moral. And so that really diverges from PTSD, which doesn't have that transgression part. It's trauma, very specific, but also moral injury tends not to have the flashbacks in the same way that PTSD does. It has more of the depression and self-blame and things like that, isolation feelings.
You mean like a discussion I had a couple weeks ago with some ministry partners of ours, and we were talking about the hardest decision you've ever had to make in your life. Mm. Well, being a combat medic, I've had to decide this person lives, this person dies.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
and no matter what you do, it's an impossible decision.
But it's one that has to be made.
Yeah.
And again, that's what a lot of people don't understand about veterans is, morally speaking, we honor and dignity, but when it comes down to it, we're human beings, and I want to live.
Right. I mean, what do you do if there's somebody who looks like a child running towards you? You don't know if they're strapped with IEDs. You don't know if they're just a kid just running. What do you do? It's an impossible decision that you have to make a decision on.
You make that decision there, but then it's 10, 15 years later,
Mhm.
it comes back and it's like, did I make the right decision?
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that I had a friend of mine. Um, she was in the Army, and she has been getting therapy for PTSD for 15 years, and it hasn't really helped her. And when she and I were talking, and I told her about moral injury and my research, and I, told her sort of the definition about it, she had this light bulb moment and said, "Oh my gosh, that fits my feelings and my experience." And I said, "Well, if there's different therapeutic interventions, like there's different therapy that you do for that versus PTSD. So that makes sense that all the therapy you've been doing and the work you've been doing hasn't been helping."
Again, this is why at our facilities, we don't take government funding because there's no such thing as a recognized therapy.
Right.
There's nothing. Yes, Sue, you're going to holler at me again, but I'm going to use the adage I've used since day one. If a brother or sister comes to me and says, "Hey, doc, I think underwater basket weaving will let me sleep better at night," my only task is, how do we do it safely?
Yep. Right. What helps you make sense for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the interruption, but our podcasts are like questions, answers. We dive deep into
No
things.
worries. Well, that's kind of what I'm hoping that my research helps is creating those, sort of overarching therapeutic interventions, helps with that. And so this is one of the bigger problems too, is that because it's not in the DSM like PTSD is, they can't be billed for it. And therefore it can't really be, you can't write down this person has this. And then, this is what we're treating for, because then, it doesn't exist in the world of insurance companies, which is kind of ridiculous.
Again, that's a whole nother ball game here, folks. The things veterans have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. So much paperwork, bureaucracy.
Yeah. I'm going to revert back to your AI.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk because I want that to be available to people who want to learn how to talk to veterans with issues.
Right. That makes sense. In general, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. He's a fascinating character.
Again, we'll talk later on that, but
Yeah.
when you're talking about that AI and I'm getting bombarded with AI stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, that just gave me, when you said interacting,
Mm-hmm.
that just gave me an idea, because part of our mandate is education
Yes.
and how to deal with veterans.
Yes.
So why not do an AI that people can interact with on our website
I love that.
to learn how to
Interact.
Well, yeah, because to me, the loaded question, especially Veterans Day is coming up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's going to be wearing their hats and all that, and the public's going to come on. And I'm going to say it like I have said it how many times? If you ask a veteran, "Hey, how's your day?" be prepared to stand there for a couple hours, because you might be that voice they needed to hear.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
That's okay. Well, one of the things, it was funny. I was telling you before we started that I met with foremost researcher in moral injury this morning, and it was amazing to me. But one of the things that she reiterated was that she firmly believes that people can heal from moral injury. They're morally injurious events. They can heal from it. It's not necessarily, a lifelong thing. It's not like you have a disease. It's something that you can get through. And some people don't, because that's the way we're built. But it's not necessarily something that you're destined to live with. And I really liked that way of thinking, because I think I was actually listening to another podcast this morning on this, and they were talking about the same thing, and how he was talking about how oh gosh, what was the podcast? It's this wonderful podcast with veterans that I just discovered, and he was talking about it's called the Moral Injury Support Network podcast. And very simple, but he was talking about how people get stuck in the idea of illness, and this is kind of in general, not just with this, but the idea that you are the illness, you know, and that can be a very disabling way of thinking, because it becomes your part of your identity, and that's, I think, one of the important things with all of this is to remember that it's not who you are intrinsically. It's, you know, something happened to you. You know, it's the idea of wabi sabi with the, you know, the Japanese, the broken bowl with the gold.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, you have that break in you, sure, but you repair it with gold, and you become something different and beautiful and equally as whole.
Again, yeah, folks, as I try to tell all of our brothers, look, we all have our quirks. Last night, my church held a like a candy thing for the neighborhood kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we're cleaning up, and one of our youth group started popping balloons, and I dove under a table.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "What's wrong with you?" No, it's not what's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
That is a trained response.
Yes.
When I don't know something's going to go pop,
mm-hmm.
that's a muscle memory response. Seek cover.
Yep.
But again, some people in the church were looking at me like, Yeah.
Learning moment.
Right.
People don't know what they don't know, but that was one that, oh my gosh.
That one seems so obvious to me.
Yeah.
It seems obvious, but again, that's part of the educational aspect of our mission is when you're dealing with veterans, it's a totally different way to do it.
Right. Well, and the goal is to get people back to thriving. I mean, and the thing is, even if I think people often feel like they're doing okay, and then they have a moment like that, and sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not healed, I'm set back so far. And it's like, no, you had a moment.
Yeah, again, that's not me.
Right.
That is a trained response. Now, did I use my grounding techniques and everything I've learned to, I'm not there, I'm here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but for the split second, while I was diving for the table, that wasn't in my thought process.
It's an automatic survival mode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It goes boom, you seek cover.
Right. Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some of us are just trained a little bit more heightened than others.
True. It's true. The fight or flight instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I'm hoping that the work I do can contribute some to help folks and move the research along.
Oh, well, wait, Sue, where's that QR code you were talking to me about?
I have a survey on SurveyMonkey, and if you're a female veteran, whether or not you've experienced a moral injury, because I need everybody to get get a good data sample, you can scan that QR code and it will go to my survey, and then that underneath is the actual URL if you want to write that down. But I'm hoping I need to get as many responses as possible, ideally before mid-December, so that I can write my dissertation and graduate in May. But if I don't get the numbers that I need, I will keep going until I can get.
Sister, so make sure that info gets into my inbox, please.
Will do.
I might have a few people that could help spread that.
Just a few. That would be awesome.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Just wonderful. Just wonderful.
I'll pull
Again,
that QR code back on the screen here again as we go. So if anybody's waiting for that QR code again, I'll bring it back up
yeah,
a little bit.
again.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been such a whoop. So the research, I can kind of go a little deeper. So
Go ahead.
what I found, and this is kind of what we talked about earlier, when I was looking at moral injury and I was looking at our veterans, I was thinking about, well, do countries that have a mandatory service have the same amount of moral injury as we do here in the U.S. And I wondered that, and I'm Jewish, and I've wanted to go to. My grandma wanted to take me to Israel forever, and of course I was a kid and I didn't go, and so so last year I went to Israel for a month because I was like, okay, they have a mandatory service, about 2 years for women and 3 for men. And I was really curious as to find out, what is it? What's the culture like? What's it like in a place where it's part and parcel of your growing up, of your worldview, of everything. And so of course I said, well, there's a war going on. I should go there. So I went for a month to Israel, and it was. I wish my grandparents were still alive. I wish I could have talked with them about it because it was just absolutely phenomenal. And the people I met were amazing. And, one of the things that really struck me that I think conceptually one can know, but, when you're there, you really understand is how deeply embedded in the culture is the idea of service, not just military service, but service. And so serving in the military, you can serve in many different ways, not just in combat role. You can serve as cooking, you can serve in the band, you can, there's a volleyball team, there's all different ways, but regardless, you're still part of it. And I really wondered, I was like, I wonder if, I hypothesized that people there don't have the levels of moral injury, morally injurious events and schisms that we would have here, because our military is volunteer, and at this point, it's mainly going to be poor people with less, because that's a good place to go and gets you good training and all of that and job skills, and then people who grew up in military families, they tend to go there, and so. And often, often those folks have more community engagement because they're sort of tapped into a broader culture of military engagement and just all their community, all the people they know and everything, and through the family. But other people, not so much. And our general culture, here in the U.S., you have the people who do military, and you've got everybody else. And everybody else doesn't really think about the people in the military, except every now and then when it comes up in the news, or if they meet somebody who served and it comes up in conversation. But there's not that sort of general community understanding. And so that's the really core of my research is doing a comparison with the two different. Sorry, this is my comfort doggy. This is Sully. He's my little
The two different societies. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, folks. Look, Israel is. They've been fighting their whole life.
Yeah.
Okay. They know what it means. They know what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
Here in America, since we are so far removed from troubled, we have 2 oceans,
Mm-hmm.
right? That has protected our nation since it was formed.
Right.
When the nation calls, yes, we're really good at answering.
But it's way over there.
Yeah, it's way over there. 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. you know, I had buddies that were on recruiting that are like, dude, I got lines out my door. I'm like, okay, I'm packing to go over. What's your point here, brother? I ain't got time to sit here and talk about your office job. But service is service.
Yeah.
That's something every society, I've been around the world.
Mhm.
Some societies understand that it's not just military service. Hey, I'm going to go 2 years and I'm going to go volunteer at this hospital.
Right.
I'm going to give 2 years and I'm going to go work at this preschool.
Mhm.
I'm going to give 2 years and do this or do that, all for the community.
Mhm.
Because that's the key to success anywhere, is that teamwork.
Exactly. And having that community cohesion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and growing up in a society where you value that kind of interconnectedness and helping is something we need more of here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, earlier the decisions I've had to make in my career.
Mhm.
I come from a long line of military family. I don't have a moral injury for that decision because I was raised that that's war, and at times you're going to have to make that decision.
Right.
It's right, wrong, or indifferent. You have to make a decision. Don't regret it. Don't, the what if is.
Oh, we'll tear you apart.
Mhm.
Now, I will say I do have my what ifs on the 28 that I've lost.
Right.
The ones I was working on and lost, I do have those what ifs. What if I would have pushed this? What if I would have?
Mhm.
But that just still doesn't define me. I have ups and downs on those.
Right.
All depends on the time of the year. Sue, ask questions of our guests, because we could sit here and
I was going to actually ask, because I know you're doing more than just working on your PhD right now. You've got other things that are keeping you busy. I wonder if you want to touch on that a little bit too.
They are. Yeah. So I grew up mostly in Carbondale, moved around a bit, but it's home. I lived here for my high school years, so it's the formative years. And in 2018, I'd been working for IBM as a project manager in Columbia, Missouri, and I got laid off, thank goodness. And I went and traveled. I had a truck camper. I had a camper, pop-up camper on the back of my Tacoma. And I just went and traveled around for 6 months and lived in my camper, and it was glorious. And I would love to do that again. But my mom turned, I think, 82, and I decided it was time to come home. And so I came home to Carbondale in 2018. And, I've always I've kind of kept up with Carbondale goings on over the years. And when I moved back, I started going to city council meetings because that's what a good, I felt like that's what a good citizen does. And so I went and participated in my civic duty. And, I just started realizing more and more that if I wanted my town to thrive, because it's, struggling. I mean, Carbondale's half the population it was when I grew up here. Because we lost so many with the university, students, and then the staff and faculty with that, and then the restaurants with that, and all of that. So when the city council election happened, this started happening, I decided to throw my hat in, and so I ran for city council, and I won. In April, I got one of 3 seats, and I have to brag for myself a little bit that I got the most votes. So I feel very honored, honestly, by that people trust me to make decisions for our town. So it's been wonderful. I mean, even with the difficult things and the controversies and all the things that come up, I have absolutely loved being on our city council. I love being in a position where I can hear people and people can come to me and I can try to figure things out for them. It's kind of funny because when I was thinking about going to get my master's degree, I thought, okay, what do I enjoy about my IT work? And I said, well, I like the troubleshooting and the figuring out and the helping people. And with IT, it was really nice because you help people and you go in and you fix something and like, oh my gosh, you just saved my day. I'm like, yes. So, it's very instant gratification. And so when I decided to go to social work, I was looking at my options of different things I could study. And I said, well, what fits those parameters? Helping people, troubleshooting. And I said, okay, well, social work seems like a good fit. And then same with my PhD, and then same with the city council. So it's been wonderful. I do love it when people reach out with a problem and that I don't know if I can help, I don't know if I can resolve it, but being able to feel like I can at least try and get to the people that could help.
Okay. So we have a Carbondale City Council member sitting in our studio, right?
Mhm.
Sister, do you understand that forward operating base rush has to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year?
Mm-hmm.
And that I cannot count on volunteers to cover those shifts.
Yes, definitely.
So I am bringing employment to the area.
Yes. Well, to McCandon.
No. I'm on the other side of 51. I'm not down in the hippie village. Okay.
There is a great coffee ice cream shop there, though.
Oh yeah, love it. But I'm bringing employment.
Yeah.
Our mission supplier, well, not even our mission supplier, our facility suppliers are very important that I find them locally.
Wonderful. Yes.
Because that saves expenses on transportation.
It does.
Yeah, hey.
So how can we help you?
I got to get forward operating base rush complete. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Look, and this isn't directed at you, but I put it out every week.
Yep.
You're either going to pray for the mission, share the mission, volunteer for the mission, and then patron the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 4 ways people help this mission.
Yeah.
Volunteers. I always need volunteers.
Who does? Yeah, that's any nonprofit. That's the core. Yeah.
That's the core of the mission.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not, we get into this all the time. Sue understands I'll never tell anybody in my organization what to do. I will ask, can you do this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say you can, that's a whole nother can of worms you're opening. Because I do hold my people to a standard.
That's good.
When you say you've got it, you've got it.
You do it.
And every once in a while, I have to remind them of, hey, check your email.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Or, hey, share this. But again, that's leadership 101.
It is.
I don't micromanage my team.
Right.
I don't feel I need to, because in order to hit my inner circle and influence the mission, you got to earn it.
Right.
But
trust
yeah.
and accountability.
Say what?
I said trust and accountability.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. I love that phrase.
I had an old Sergeant Major teach me that.
It's I think it's an important concept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to be able to trust, but you also don't want, you got to make sure.
Yeah, you got to verify.
Yep.
I sit here all day in meetings and throughout the week, and I'll be honest, if it wasn't for my team,
Mm-hmm.
I know I'd be wasting a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
because Sue here is one good one. She'll tell me everything she's doing, and she'll go, "Yeah, if this person reaches out, don't talk to them. Don't
I'm glad.
even bother." Oh, Don, when I heard of what you were doing through Paul Copeland,
Yeah, I'm so thankful that he reached out to you all. I sent him a message and he got back to me right away.
yeah, when Paul told me what you were doing, that's when the email shot out to Sue. Hey,
Get her on here. What do we need to do?
Well, I'm super excited because it's always hard getting people to do a survey, and it's a difficult survey. It's about people's experiences, and so I hope that if anybody watching, I hope that you all do the survey, but also know that if you struggle while you're filling it out, because it does ask personal questions, because it's scales, and information about your experiences, that that the veterans, the hotline is there, and the VA hotline, the 988 it's so important to have those resources and utilize them. And that's one of the difficulties about doing research like this, is that it is difficult and it's hard on the participants. And I have at the end of the survey where you can jump over to a separate survey, so it keeps the original one anonymous. But you can put your email in if you would be willing to do a follow-up interview, so that I can get the quantitative data from the first survey, but then I can do a person-to-person interview and discussion, so I can get the qualitative and actually have the real person part of the equation, because it can't just all be data.
again, I hate people that tout strictly data.
Yeah, because it takes away the human part of it, and you can't get the gray areas and all the
Well, you can, and I'm not bashing, but look, the VA says we're at 18 a day.
right.
The marketing number is 22. I know personally we're at about 43.
Right.
And that's just through my circle.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the real number on veteran suicide?
Yeah,
We'll never know.
we'll never know.
But all I know is one
Is
is
too
too many.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's something that I got to get people to understand is, look, everything Project Die Hard does, I want to help as many as I can, but as long as I save one, everything we do is worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's, in Judaism, one life is a universe, and that's, it really is that, kind of importance, is recognizing that in each other and ourselves and in ourselves.
Oh, again, with the Torah, look, I want
And with the Torah.
I want a rabbi to reach out because I do want a Jewish ministry partner.
We have the Chabad here. Our Rabbi Mendel is wonderful, and I will get you in touch with him, because if he can't, I'm sure he can help in some way.
Oh, it's not, look, God's gonna help anyway. The creator's gonna help anyway. Okay. Mine is this, because I like to gather rabbis, priests, preachers,
Mhm.
all of them, and go, okay, answer me this. Because I'm just a sinner saved by grace. But Luke 3:11 says that if I have two coats, I'm supposed to give one. If I have food, I'm supposed to give it.
I was gonna say that's gonna be with all those people in there. That's gonna be one long conversation, and a hearty one.
Mhm. Worthwhile.
Worthwhile.
Yeah, Don, I don't do anything half.
I can tell.
Nope. So it's fun. You know what you're gonna get with Brian because he puts his cards on the table. You know where you're going. You know what's happening, and that's what Project Diehard. The mission's clear, and it's just a matter of the pieces falling together to make it go where it needs to be.
It takes the community to raise a organization.
Yeah, it really does.
It takes a village to raise a child.
It's a
Yeah,
village. Exactly.
it does, folks. Look, I'm going to show my Generation X age here, folks.
You start singing Conjunction Junction.
No, I'm just going to say, growing up, I could be 2 blocks over, do something, and by the time I got home, my dad would know about it.
Not getting away with anything, honey.
That was a village raising a
That
child,
was indeed.
okay? Looking out for your fellow man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we have too much of that's not my problem. Blinders.
I don't see anything. There's nothing going on over there. I'm here.
Not my business.
Oh, you mean all these things I get sent of, why are you filming the car burning and not helping
Yeah.
people in the car?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I just call stupid as stupid does.
I know we live in a strange world these days.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I did the AI avatar was because, you can either use technology for filming people who are burning in cars and posting on social media, or you can try to use it for something good. And I mean, that's what this is, this video podcast.
Again, this is what we do. This is the Monday Mission Podcast. Tell anybody else who has a program for veterans or what, they're welcome on this podcast. Okay.
The professor I work under, Dr. McDaniel, this would be perfect for him. One of the projects that he had me working on as part of my assistantship, because I did a research assistantship with him, I'm doing currently, is we have a micro credential to train veterans to learn some code. I always forget the actual definition of the micro credential, but it's free. It's totally free, and any veteran can do it. And it's it's job training skills.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
It helps veterans go from no or limited knowledge of coding artificial intelligence machine learning models in our software, which I use our software for my statistics. And in the last 3 modules of it, you'll be able to run basic machine learning model on real world data. And so we've already got dozens of veterans who are doing the credential, and you do it in your own time. So there's no pressure.
Oh, again.
I sent the link in the email as well.
So I think I'm going to knock on Paul's door Because how come we weren't aware of that opportunity that we could? Dawn, SIU is a resource partner of ours, an official.
Oh, yeah,
We have a memorandum with SIU.
Mhm.
that's wonderful. That's good.
It only took 8 months to get through all the BS.
Don't even get me started on that kind of bureaucracy.
It's a university. Yeah.
Yeah,
The point being is this:
but that's wonderful.
I have an opportunity right now out to SIU students in the architectural department.
Oh, nice.
I need buildings designed.
Right. Yes.
Win-win.
That's huge. Yeah. That's the kind. I mean, I love partnerships because we can't all. And this is just with organizations, with people, with governments, with all of it, because not one person or entity can do it all. And so having those kind of partnerships is key. I mean, that's you go back to community. I mean, that's honestly one of the things I've absolutely loved about living in Carbondale. When I was running for council, I made T-shirts that say, "Ask me what I love, what I heart about Carbondale." And I want to get a conversation going. Not a passive. I love Carbondale, but ask me, and let's talk about what we love about our town. And that's honestly one of the things I love about being home is that there's so much. You can't do a lot of things we do here in a big city, because people get lost. You get lost in the shuffle. But here it's small enough, and there's so many people who are dedicated to bettering either the whole town as a whole, their corner of it, like what you're doing. I mean, it's just, and it builds on itself. So you have a cafe that opens here, you have a bar that opens here, you have a therapy place over here that opens, you have a new business here, and it all builds on itself, each other, and you create that community, but you help each other because you're participating in each of it. And it just people are so enthusiastic here.
You mean like our Club 22?
Tell me about Club 22.
Club 22 are restaurants that want to help our mission, right?
Yes. I'm writing that down.
We put them on our website and we tell everybody on the 22nd of every month, go dine in fellowship with these people.
That is fantastic.
And then we ask, it's not mandatory, but we do ask, hey, if somebody mentions Die Hard, give a little back to the mission.
Yep. I know they're because I know that I've seen not for this, but for other, like the terrier, Carbondale Terriers or something. I see, I'll get an email from one of the restaurants I frequent that says, if you mention it, we'll give, 15% or, whatever back. So I think that's fantastic. That's a great way to community participation.
Mhm.
Oh, they get this cool little logo they put in their store saying, hey, I'm a member of Club 22. So that tells everybody they're helping veterans.
That's wonderful. And then people ask, what is that? Yeah. That is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, sister. Believe me, a lot of people go, well, you don't know what you're doing. Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. You've got I mean, this is the way you do it. This is the way you do it. This is the way you build community. This is the way you build an organization. This is the way you keep going forward.
Yes, but I got to remind everybody again. So, you ready for the 3 rules?
Let's do it.
3 rules, folks. These are my rules. You don't break them, you ain't got a problem out of me. Rule number 1, God will never leave this mission. Don't ask. Rule number 2, we will never use the suffering of veterans for profit. Not going to happen here. When a veteran's ready to tell their story, I will give them every opportunity to do so. And 3rd rule, no drugs or alcohol allowed in this mission. Well, I don't have a problem. Yeah, you don't, but the person you're rooming with might. So scripture tells me, do not lead my brother into temptation. So the only way I know how to do that, being the stupid medic that I am, is just outlaw it on our properties and in our mission.
Well, and too often it becomes the focal point instead of the healing. It's easy to turn to.
Yeah, again, I'm opinionated.
Nah, I couldn't tell.
I'm focused. I will help those who help us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you, as before the show we discussed, yeah, I don't care if you send $100,000 to the mission.
Mhm.
I will never know what you give because your dollar bill doesn't influence my care of my brothers and sisters. Is that so hard to understand? Oh, wait, Sue, I think this past week some others have caught on, haven't they? Sue, do your magic. Pull up our website.
Coming right up.
Well, I'm excited that
Scroll down.
you're building this.
Oh, look, SQ.
Look at that. Yay.
Now, Don, you know what's missing out of all of my partners? Southern Illinois.
Which part? All of it?
All of it. Yeah.
Well, isn't oh gosh, Black Diamond.
Yeah, they're in Marion.
They're married. We got to get some Carbondale stuff going on.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you can. Yeah, again, Carbondale. We're 4.3 miles.
Yeah. Got well, and there's I'm sure there's a lot of restaurants here that would participate and organizations. I know the city's not doing funding, but I don't know what there was something to do with placing charity boxes you mentioned.
Yeah,
or donation rather.
I don't have any here on me. Let me see if I can pull up a pic real quick. Yeah. Get over here. Share.
Okay, yeah.
That's the box.
Right on. Yeah, I'll find out who you need to get in touch with and who at the city could help with that, and I will get some information over to you.
Oh, trust me, we've Carbondale Chamber knows us.
Good.
I've been asking for years to have their on our website.
Okay. Wonder why. Yeah, I'll have to talk and see what's going on.
I don't know why. It's not cost, and all I ask them is to put our logo on their website.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We get some more information out there for sure.
So I say we don't want to be the best kept secret out there. We need people to know who this mission is. Everybody needs to know, what is Project Die Hard? Have you heard of that? Yes,
Well,
yes, I have. I know what that is.
Everybody knows the VA, which is good. I mean, but there's only so much that they can do for all the reasons. But having, we've got such a lack of help for veterans out there. I mean, seeing veterans on the streets, homeless, that's, one of the things that's been a discussion at our city recently has been, our unhoused population and how we can help. And so that, those are things that we're actively working on kind of behind the scenes to try to figure out, solutions and how we can help. But the fact that so many veterans are on the street is just,
again, we're not long-term housing.
right.
But
they can get up to a year as in residence. But our facility is going to be there for veterans, whether they want to come sit by the pond.
Yeah.
Come take a class away from, because Paul asked, how come my veterans do half a semester then leave? Because they're more mature than the average student.
It's a completely different environment.
Yeah. I want to give them an environment where they're with their brothers and sisters learning.
Mm-hmm. Learning, workforce training, all of that is so necessary. And we don't have it. We really don't. Yeah, exactly.
You saw the website, right?
It's happening.
You saw the website, right?
But I mean, in general, this is why this kind of thing is needed, is because of the lack of.
Again, folks, the Lord is blessed with the team. I've been doing this since 2018. We have the land, we have the plan. Well, it's not our plan, it's God's plan. We have the team built. Now it's just raising the buildings and building the place.
The easy part, it's the little things, right?
Yeah, little things. Like keeping the lights on.
Keeping the lights on, keeping the heat on.
Yeah. All right, Sue, it's that time.
It is that time. We, at the end of our show each week, we end with each of us sharing a word of hope for our veterans. Real quick before I switch to that, I am going to bring this back up one more time so that if anybody wanted to quickly scan this QR code and get back to taking the survey, this is the link for it. If you want to just type it in, if you want to go ahead and scan the code and be able to take the survey, now's your chance real quickly. I'll leave it up for about 20 more seconds. And this is your chance. Go ahead and participate with what Dawn has going on and make a difference.
Well, and hey, folks, this is why I ask you to share this podcast every week. Because things like this come up in it. This is a very important thing for our sisters out there. So share it out.
Excellent. And if you have any questions after the fact, feel free to reach out. My name right here, Susan at projectdiehard.org. Really easy to reach me that way. Susan at projectdiehard.org. But again, to share a word of hope for veterans, Dawn, can I go ahead and hand that over to you first?
Sure. I guess I think some, in my research on moral injury and sort of everything that's going on with people who have that break, I just want to remind you that you are not alone. Your strength matters and is still there in you. Your story has a purpose. You're valued, seen, and not forgotten.
Amazing. Thank you, Dawn, so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you. This has been a pleasure. And Brian, passing it your way.
Dawn, don't run. We're going to finish this up and then we'll. All right, brothers and sisters, you know the deal. If you quit, that means you failed. Don't quit. If you're going to fall forward. And no matter how low you get, just look up, because there is the answer. Look up and say, I'm here. Use me. That's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do. Until next week, stay tuned and remember, pray, share, volunteer, and patron.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. This is Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. We are here every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Central, to share all the things going on here with Project Die Hard, share our friends, share what's going on. And remember, you're here for a reason. God's not done with you yet. Find out where you're going next. What's next for you? There's hope. There always is somebody here for you. We're so glad to be here. So glad to share all this. As always,